On this episode of the Ask Mike Reinold Show, we're going to talk about Steph Curry's hip hinge and 2 areas you do not want to do self-myofascial release on. The Ask Mike Reinold Show. Helping people feel better, move better, and perform better. Welcome back, everybody, to this episode of the Ask Mike Reinold Show. I'm here with the boys from Champion PT and Performance, Lenny Macrina, Kiefer Lammy.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Dave Tilley, right? And Nick, PT student from BU, is here to join us, or Nick's a lot. All the students have to have a nickname now. It's official now. So, we're here for some new questions.
All right.
Nick, what do we got?
Maria from Pittsburgh asked.
Who's that, Maria?
Maria.
Maria from Pittsburgh.
I'm a second-year PT student. Despite extensive theoretical training and ample clinical opportunities, myself and fellow students still find ourselves struggling through initial evaluations. We know the material when we're in school, but when we are before a patient in the clinic, the knowledge seems to just go out the window. Any suggestions or tips?
That's a good one. We got to get your input on this too, Nick. But Nick, what do you think?
I mean, I feel like first of all, it's just the more time practice. So spending more time with patients over and over, it just gets easier and easier. I mean, just my first eval, I was stumbling on the goniometer. Now I feel so comfortable carrying a caseload. So you just got to be confident and not get discouraged. Also, early on, having a template, for certain evals, back versus shoulder versus knee, certain things that you need to look for and need to test will just, have some flow to your eval.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think the biggest thing students tend to do is they start with there's these 100 things they want to do. And they just start going down this checklist of 100 things, and as you get more experience, and the subjective kind of dictates your objective, and those sorts of things. I think you gain a little bit more experience, but I think you're so overwhelmed with doing everything instead of just finding the low hanging fruit. Would be I'd say, but again, it's practice and it's experience, so that is a very daunting thing. I get it, but
I'm not gonna lie. Even when I do evals now, and I've been doing it for a little while. I don't hit everything. Years. You can look back and crap, I never got manual muscle test or whatever, or some kind of random. You just gotta take it in stride. And like Nick said, repetition, but I think just getting the big picture, watch them move, and you hit your big things: passive motion, active motion, palpation, strength testing, and then things will fall into place after that. But, deep breath and get a good subjective. I think that's more critical than all the other stuff, is getting a good subjective. And then everything will fall into place. So just, it'll be good.
Don't worry about getting everything. Just, hit the basics.
You in front of you. That's my advice. Think about the person and what they're saying, and not crap, I need all these things I got to do. Listen to what they say. And like you suggested, it will flow you kind of where you need to go.
Don't let them see you sweat. They need to see that you're confident and that you got a good flow and that you care about them and their outcomes, and they'll buy into you. And even if you have to get some stuff to second visit,
exactly right.
Perfect. That's fine.
Yeah, just digest afterwards and say, okay, what do I want to look at next time? That's perfectly acceptable to do more on the next visit. So
agreed.
Yeah. So all right, Nick.
All right, Harriet from Australia asked, is there a good technique for self-release of the iliopsoas or subscapularis? I
got this one. No. Next question. All right, so self techniques. Kiefer, you got anything? Self techniques for psoas or subscap?
No.
Yeah, I those are areas we don't do. Tons of nerves, vessels in both areas.
Yeah,
no, don't do that. We're too caught. Yeah, lay on the kettle. Yeah, and if you see things on the internet saying to do that or smash that or whatever, but please don't do those areas. Just too many sensitive structures around there. Self-release is not what you're looking for. So,
all right,
Nick, that was a good one.
Yeah. Joe from North Carolina asked, I recently read on an ESPN article about Steph Curry, ankle problems, and how his injury issues were addressed. The article mentions that when beginning rehab after 2013 surgery, Curry had to be taught how to properly hip hinge, and he did not know how to execute it correctly. It even mentions that he initially could only deadlift 200 pounds. How common is it to see professional athletes who do not know how to execute a proper functional movement like a hip hinge?
Way more
Yeah.
common than you
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
They're in all of our worlds. You'd be surprised. To get to that upper level of elite athleticism, you have to have some genetic gifts usually. So, so people get there maybe sometimes despite that. But
Right.
Kiefer, what do you think?
I mean, it's definitely common. Like when I was at UConn playing basketball, I was surprised by how many of the guys just didn't move well. On the court, they're great, but when you put them into a functional pattern, they don't have it. And I think that's kind of where the injuries come from. Like in Steph Curry's case, he was compensating for something. You know, he rehabbed, he learned how to hip hinge, and he was moving better somehow, and it affected him on the court.
Right, and I bet there's other things he can't do too. Hip hinge
Right.
probably got the publicity in the article, but I think it's pretty common. Len, your experience? Anything else?
Yeah, I think. I mean, if you don't do it, you don't. There's neuromuscular control. Your mind does not know how to communicate with the muscles and ligaments and everything else to allow you to get into that position. So I imagine he's a stud now. Probably he's just a gifted athlete. It's just educating on how to move it and being able to break it down, so the athlete can figure out, giving him good cues, how to get into that hip hinge position. And I'm a professional PT, and I still struggle.
Good point. Tilly, anything on your end?
I would say just remember that, again, most of those elite athletes hyper-specialize, and from a young age they've been doing skill-specific training. Right? Coaches are skill-specific, but they don't have a great movement base. Many of them didn't play 3 or 4 sports when they were younger, so they maybe lack fundamentals, and in reality it should be the other way. We should be fundamentally there and then develop these skills later, but that squat, hinge, all that stuff is a basic that they might have missed.
Awesome, yeah. So yeah, I'd say pretty common in the pro
Yeah,
athletes.
definitely.
They move a lot worse than you think, but hopefully we can help them and then make them a little bit more bulletproof down the road. So, Nick, is that it?
That is it.
That's it.
Boom.
Perfect. Awesome. That was a good one. I like it. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you joining us again. We love the feedback. Give us some reviews. We want to hear some good constructive criticism too. So go to iTunes, give us a nice rating and a review if you don't mind, and keep asking the questions. MikeReinold.com. Click on that podcast link, and we'll keep going on future episodes. So thank you so much.